Hey pilots, I got something a little different for you tonight. Do a little bit of low-tier gameplay in biplanes. Not my favorite era to fly, but I picked up this little DI-61 in the last sale of Winter Trials when it was half off. Just as an extra multi-roll to have. I thought it looked interesting and thought I'd pick it up and give it a whirl since I had some extra gold from all those crates. I love multi-rolls. I think at heart I've always been a multi-roll pilot. The planes just haven't lived up to my expectations early in the game. But from the first time I sat in the cockpit of the Cutlass back in the day in testing, it's really just been an interesting concept to me. I love the idea of being a little bit of a jack of all trades. I play utility characters and kind of swing characters in MMOs. That's what I tend to enjoy the most, and so that's really what multi-roles can do in this game as well. A little bit of PvP, a little bit of PvE, cap zones. Operate in cool ways. And this is just a neat looking plane. It's like a fat bodied little biplane. It's got a little rear gunner on it. Has 4 bombs on it as well, maybe bomblets. I'm not even sure they qualify as bombs. I think they're 10 kilogram or something like that. It's also got 2 of the SHKAS, SHKAS machine guns, the really nice ones that my teammate and one of the guys in the team has in their I-5. Only this one is sporting 2 of them rather than 4 of them. So half the firepower of that tier 2 beneath it that's working with me in this zone right here. So, so far I'm enjoying the plane. And I see a bot, Focke-Wulf 57 there. That's a tough plane. Even with bots, you want to take it seriously. So I decide that's going to be what I pound first, even though I'm going to take a little bit of rear turret fire from the TSH down there. So we're 2-2 at this point. We're up a little bit. I feel pretty good about the early part of the match. The 2 I-5s are specialized, and there's a BA-27 on the other team as well, which is a tier 3 a low-wing monoplane. I think that's Chinese tech tree, if I remember right, the Metallico. And so I'm feeling pretty good, and I'm like, well, we've got the middle. We've got our air base. We probably need to go look at getting their air base. And I see some of our planes are already headed that way anyway, so seems like a good location to me, and I'm going to dive into it right here. Now, you might have seen something that I didn't see, which is that there's a specialized I-5 in the background there. Keep your eye on him, because I certainly did not. I had my attention focused on other things. I don't know if he spawned at the airfield or in his zone. But I get busy trying to flip this cap, and I miss that he's making a beeline right for me. And while this thing does have a tail gun, it's a little bit restricted in terms of its arc of fire, and I try and pivot out of the way and lose my tail, which, if you guys know anything about losing your tail, that's about the worst thing you can lose when you're trying to do maneuvers, especially rudder maneuvers. It just cripples. You feel like a whale in the sky after that point. So. He gets me on the first one, and now we're down 2 zones to 1. Unfortunately, they flip our airfield while they're still working on theirs, interestingly enough. I ping it, hoping that my buddy will see it, but he's actually out working on a different zone right now, and it's going to take him a while to get back over there. So, but I'm hoping he'll make it, and he's whirling, still trying to capture that zone. That's okay. I spawn next to the airfield. I'm going to go get it. And I noticed something on this pass that I did not notice before. Maybe you noticed it, maybe not. But watch this. I'm going to drop these bombs, and I hit the bar twice because I have 4 bombs. So I'm going to do 2 here and 2 over there. I figure that's close enough, and I can check and see. So this is literally my first battle on this aircraft. Check and see how much damage the 2 bombs do relative to me in a same tier matchup. This is a tier 3 match. It's a tier 3 plane, right? But I notice as I go to turn to drop on the second target, I have no more bombs, and that's when I realize something that's not in the tooltips on this plane at all, and that is that when you hit the button once, it actually drops 2 bombs. So it doesn't tell you that, but I guess it makes sense. Like I said, they are very tiny bomblets under the wings, but I realize, oh, okay, I gotta find something else to do. I can't drop bombs there. So I swing back on into dogfighting mode with some of these ADA aircraft here. It's just me in this zone. There's like one enemy behind me. It's a bot, though. I'm not terribly worried about it, or at least I assume it's a bot. But as we're going to see in a minute, maybe not. So I'm taking this fire, and I realize, maybe this seems like something I should be worried about. And then I go, no, it's not a bot. I'm fine. It is a bot. I'm fine. No worries, right? I can just keep rolling. But it turns out that there is someone else back there. And it's not only this guy coming in, but another bulldog on the outside coming in as well. So, yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on in that moment there, and I kept thinking there was a pilot around, Sometimes with the biplanes, it's hard to tell just because of the amount of fire coming out from all these small machine guns. But anyway, I decide that bulldog is going to get left to his fate, and I am going to push ahead into the middle because we are down again, and, you know, I want to keep my foot on the gas if I can. This is obviously going to be a close match. And I see the Shikast there, and I have an opportunity to hopefully get on him. I avoid the incoming attack a little bit. He tries to go head-to-head, but, you know, the reality is I have more hit points. I'm a multi-roll. Now that I know I have 2 bomb drops instead of 4, I put my potatoes where they can hopefully do some damage. And I'm going to keep punching out all these 88 kills as much as I can. So we're 2-2 again, but we're over 100 points behind on the capture meter. And after a little bit of thinking, I decide we need the airfield. That's probably the best way to go. I don't have anybody with me, but I do see all these nice planes headed the other direction. So maybe if I can sneak in and cap the airfield, it might give me the opportunity to get one zone up. But then the Shikast is there again, and I decide, oh, what the heck? I've got more hit points than him. I'm going to tear up on him. Let's go head-to-head. And that was a bad idea. If you played the DI-61 or the Shikast before, you probably knew that was a bad idea. But we're getting close. I decide to bail out because our HP is so low. That may have been part of the mistake, but the reality is he's got twice the firepower I do, and I don't have enough hit points to compensate for that, and so I'm going to lose my plane here. So now I'm starting to worry about this match a little bit, and I'm going to try and do what I can to win, right? And I'm thinking about, okay, how do we do this? How do we get one over on them? How do we get one up on zones? We got to get at least one up on zones. All right, I got to defend the airfield. So at this point, I'm thinking this may not be a victory after all. I may just have to settle for my candy with 8,000 points, and that may be the lot of it. But I'm going to try and clear out this airfield as best I can. And this time, even though I thought the last time was a little crazy, this one's going to be even crazier, and a little bit of fire going on as well, and that's because there is a player this time around. So I'm ignoring it because I think that's just another bot, and then I catch on fire, and then I realize, no, that is a player this time. I should be worried. And this, by the way, is where rudder control is really great. You saw me twisting in 3 axes. You see the Q button aligned and the S button aligned. I'm doing a high angle rollover. I've got the rudder going, and he's having a hard time keeping up with these angle changes, right? And so I'm able to kind of continue to put myself almost on him, shave a little bit off. And then after I shave a little bit off, I go, duh, you have a tail gunner, and this guy's low on hit points. Maybe I should just, use the tail gunner. And of course that's what I do, and that's when I find out how restricted that angle is back there. But fortunately, when you do have your buttons slaved, you can go nose up a little bit, get that angle to unlock for you, and clear him down. And now it's squall line, and I realize we're behind a good bit. I don't know that I can catch us up in time. And so the best option I have now is to start downing planes as fast as possible, right? This has gone into kind of a pure PvP mode. I use that term loosely, obviously, since these are bots. But, shooting down other planes is what needs to happen at this point. And hopefully I can get us enough planes up that we can swing a zone and, or just clear them out purely by kills. So I'm calling for an attack on that I-5 in the background, and the I-5 goes down, but our I-5 takes down someone else at the same time. So now we're up. Actually, no, that hasn't happened yet. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So they're actually going to come together after this, but their Shikast takes down 2, our Shikast takes down 1, and now watch, they're going to go head-to-head, and they both go down. So our Shikast takes out theirs. Theirs technically dies to the air defense aircraft. Or ours technically dies to the air defense aircraft, sorry, because it's a red zone, but it's enough. The zone gets flipped, and now we're up 3 zones to 1. I can breathe a little bit, but again, I've got red planes to deal with right here. I'm just going to keep stacking them up, and hopefully the others come into the middle to deal with me, right? Full HP, ground attack, and then I notice one of our bots is on him, and I think I have a better chance of killing these 2 quickly. Especially being light fighters versus trying to burn away the HP of that one. Metallico is 1 zone over, so I don't have to worry about him right now. And I'm just going to burn both these guys down. Fortunately, I have an ADA there that's helping me out. Drop a little tail gun action again, and someone else will clear him out. And then I clear out another one, so now it's just air defense aircraft here, but you know, we've lost a zone again, so now I got to flip a zone to keep us up by 3-1, hopefully, and I don't want to lose this TSH. If I lose the TSH, it's going to be a long time before I flip this zone, so I'm just trying to clear him out as fast as possible, but the zone gets flipped, fortunately, by the bots, and I am able to breathe a little bit easy. So I'm going to realize at this point there's only 5 planes left, and the Bulldog, half dead, is heading into the zone. We're about to make it 4. But the counter is getting dangerously close to the end, right? And I'm doing some math in my head, and I'm not sure we're going to catch up in time. 4 planes left. All 4 of them are in sight, but all 4 of them are pretty far away. And the one coming in, of course, is the Focke-Wulf 57. I don't want the bot to lock onto me and burn me down. That will end any chances I have, and it takes me a minute to realize he's going for the ground attack aircraft behind me. And so it takes me a little longer to loop over and deal with him. And of course, he's a big fat heavy, and I've only got these 2 Shikass, so it's going to take a little while to burn him down. And I get really frustrated at this moment because I did burn him down, but he shut out my engine. And you're looking at the timer at the top, and I'm looking at the timer at the top. It's just rolled over. And you can see they're 15 away, and we are 21 away. And I'm doing the math in my head because I know I'm not getting to the last 3 aircraft in time. I'm going to have to rely on that counter to get us by. And after a moment of doing a little bit of math in my head, I breathe a sigh of relief. And you can see that as well because we've just tied up, and now we're ahead. And that's where the game is going to end. Right about the time I start to get my engine back, or would hopefully get my engine back. And that's the end of the match. That was my very first time flying the DI-61. I actually enjoyed it more than I thought, and maybe it's because I went into it with very low expectations. You know, that tier, you know, I don't play low tier a whole lot, you know, as much as I have to do dailies, but that's about it. And so I wasn't really sure how it would perform, if it would perform the way a multi-role performs, and it really did. You know, a little bit of bombs and quick reloading ones at that, and the 2 Shikass, and it made for a pretty good match. I had 14 kills, 2 shoot downs, unfortunately both by the Shikass with its heavy firepower. I did a lot more ground damage than I anticipated with those 4 little bomblets as well, and a lot of critical damage too. The Shikass is really just an incredible weapon at low tier. It hits harder than it should, I think, in some ways. And all 4 of the pilots in this match did good. 2 ace pilots, 1 BSSF pilot, and myself. And we all had pretty solid matches. Several zones captured. You know, we did some good stuff there. And so it was really nice. Again, this game plays best when everybody's pulling their weight and doing their thing. And again, I just love the look of this plane. Something about it is interesting. It's just like a sort of a double-decker biplane because the rear pilot is sitting lower. I mean, the rear gunner is sitting lower than the pilot is. It's just fascinating to me. I just kind of put the basic generic camouflage on it, so it's just the green. I haven't done the others yet because I wasn't sure what to do with it. Gear setup, because biplanes tend to be super maneuverable as it is, I really wanted the extra speed, and really your only option at this tier is to go with that polished skin, and so that's what I did, and of course gun sight and bomb reticle as well. And you can see the airspeed is not bad for this aircraft. You know, 360 is a boost speed, and there were places where I hit, if not that, then pretty close to it. Tend to serve me well, got me from zone to zone in a decent rate, decent clip, especially these lower tiers with the smaller maps. And so that's one of the things that I thought was positive in this plane, unlike some of the other Russian multi-rolls that can be terribly slow, the IL-1 and some of those. This one was pretty decent. And there you can see the 4 bomblets. So the other thing, I have to do 2 other things before we close up this recording. One is I have to show you the map. I tell people this all the time about this map, and it always cracks them up. We'll see if you can see what I see as well. Oh, that's at the end of the match here. Okay, let's get to where I look at the map at some point. Where are we at? Yeah, right here, right here. All right, so watch. Let me check things out here. Oh, actually, I need to do probably when I go down. Here it is. Okay. Here's the map. This is the thing you need to know about this map. This is one of the oldest maps in the game, by the way, Fortress. And here is something you will never unsee. So this is the map up here. And I always remember Fortress, so I remember it to its my dying day. Take this square map, rotate it 90 degrees, so this is up, and you can see the Cyclops eating something right here. And if you remember the old map, what it's eating, the fortress, of course, which is in the middle of the map, was actually attached up here. So it looked like a very obscene picture if you rotate it right in your mind as to what this guy's doing. And I'll never forget that. Once you see it, it's one of those things that you just kind of can't unsee. Eyes, mouth, the thing he has in his mouth, the old attachment was dropping down on the old map. You can't really see it on this one, but terribly funny in my twisted mind. So there you go. Now it can be a part of your twisted mind as well. So tomorrow ends the marathon for the Moonbat. Hope you got a chance to grab everything you wanted to and pick up the Moonbat itself, which does look like it's shining. Today is also a banner day in World of Warplanes because we are getting a balance update in the morning. Something that many of us thought would be a long time in coming is actually happening now, right at the end of the marathon. Hopefully the marathon gave them all the stats they needed on the P61 to show how powerful it was, because it is getting nerfed in turn time and in terms of the guns. The guns are losing accuracy. The turn time is being nerfed as well. The XP-54 Swoosh Goose is getting another nerf as well. Its guns are being brought into line, and so that was unexpected. It's a strong plane in my mind now, but not a meta killer the way the P61 is. And then the last one, which was very unexpected, is the Masha, the Tier 9 Premium, getting a little bit of a boost in its boost time, and so a little more acceleration, a longer boost, and hopefully a little more speediness. And I'm hoping, I mentioned this in Discord, I'm hoping that's a precursor to a buff for the entire LA line. The Antonov, if you haven't figured it out, is kind of a Tier 9 premium for the LA line. It flies very similar to those aircraft, and really one of the ways they're hampered is they're supposed to be jack of all trades aircraft. A little bit of maneuverability, a little bit of speed, but they're hampered by a very low boost time, and that really gets the LAs into trouble. I would love to see that entire line get 2 more seconds of boost, because I think that would really help with their ability to capture and move on the map, and kind of give them a little bit more viability in the tiers that they're in. So, and that would include the LA-11 at Tier 8 on that as well, which, as you guys know, I love terrible planes, and the LA-11 is one of them, so it's definitely near the top of my list. So again, hope you had a great time. We'll look forward to the update tomorrow and seeing what's coming on it. Hope you enjoy your Moonbat if you got it. If not, hope you enjoyed the goodies that you got. At this point, we're going to slow down a little bit on the video cycle, and you may have noticed that this week. My goal is to get out maybe 2 videos a week moving forward from here. I'll still do content, but without the marathon, there's not quite as much to talk about. And unfortunately, with all the crazy stuff starting back up here for me in the new year, I don't have quite as much time on my hands either. But I will continue to make videos, and would love to hear from you guys. Again, if there's anything you want to see, if you want to flight up one night, I'm happy to do that as well. Just shoot me a message either in the game or on Discord or in the forums, and we'll see if we can link up and have a romp together and just enjoy the game as it was meant to be played. So until then, enjoy your flying, and good luck and good hunting to you.